Hey, I am vlogging. I think I'm gonna start vlogging. I'm in East Orange. I'm here alone, kind of bored and sad, and so I am. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. But I am pretty obviously on a whole new journey in my life, and I figured I would take y'all along. So, update. I am in East Orange because my mother passed away last week. It was unexpected. She went into the hospital for shortness of breath. They found out she had pneumonia. They found out she had stage 4 cancer, and then she died. And that's I'm pretty pissed because let me just tell you about plans though. Oh my god. So I was moving to Philadelphia the week my mother passed away, but she got sick and I came up here and then she died. And I wanted to be in Philadelphia so I could be in between New Jersey, which is where she lives, and Baltimore, which is where my friend Aselica lives, who I consider my sister. She recently lost her dad, and 4 years ago she lost her mom. I'm really close to her, and I'm close to her sister. I consider them my sisters, and my mom was here. And to be honest, I was concerned about everything other than this. Like my mother, I worked really hard to get my mom off of drugs. When I found her 4 years ago, she was on drugs. And I was like, we just not finna do this. So you need to get off of drugs if you want to have a relationship with me. Straight like that. And she did. But I still was like, I don't know how to put it. I still was like hesitant with her like I am with damn near every new person or experience. Just because I'm just like not like that. But I know I love my mother. I know I loved her more than anything. And I knew that from the moment I knew she existed. But I don't know. I had to create I think I just lived in my shell with my mom. And I would send her text messages and be like, just need you to know that I love you more than anything in this world. Forever. Always. Just because I felt like the way that she perceived me was a person who didn't love her. And I needed her to know that. And I always would say to my mom, because my mom would be like, straight up, she'd just be lying about stuff that didn't even matter. She would say, or she would try to create some scenario about what happened when I was a kid and why she didn't raise me. And I would always be like, listen, bro, I just don't care about that. I'm super happy that you didn't raise me. And I wasn't saying that to be insulting to my mother, but I know what her life was. And I haven't had an easy life, but I'm definitely happy that I wasn't raised by a drug addict. Do you know what I'm saying? Or in a family that was full of dysfunction. I think that the disadvantage that I have is that I don't really understand family like that. I don't know what to do with these feelings of family. The only thing I feel like I can do right now is just honor my mother with my life and honor her life and share who she really was. Because I feel like, and I said this to her all the time, I'm not dealing with you when you're on drugs. I'm dealing with the drug. But I want to deal with you, no matter what that is. Because I just can't. And the reason why I was like that is very much because of my mother. I was born addicted to drugs, and so I was really scared when I was a kid that I would be addicted to drugs. I had a predisposition to opiates because I was born addicted to them. And so I just didn't play around with drugs. If you were on drugs, that's a no for me. I have a zero tolerance for drugs. And so when I figured out my mom was on drugs, it was just super easy for me to be like, you know what? Actually, we're not doing that. Like, you cannot be a part of my life if you're on drugs. And that's a direct result of her being my mother and knowing the very little that I did know about her when I was growing up. And I don't take any of that back. Like, I'm pissed that she died with so little time clean. And she struggled with it for so long that I don't know. I'm just pissed. I'm happy I did that, but I also feel like I just wasn't given enough time to build a relationship with her. And I feel like because I am so standoffish and like I'm not super eager to be a part of a family, that like I didn't allow myself to really like show Catherine how much I loved her. Like, I just would tell her, but there were like not really any. I mean, I definitely did everything I could to get her off of drugs, and you know, and really it was just separating myself from her and like making sure she knew that when am I playing with her, like, you need to get off of this or you can absolutely never speak to me again. But I don't know, I'm sitting here and all I can think about is love and how powerful it is, because of the love that she had for me, she really, 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 really went super hard to get off of this shit for me and my brother. I have a brother, and nobody's ever loved me that much. Like, I never loved anyone that much, and it is and that's not to say that I don't love people, because I do, and I haven't had really strong relationships that are, you know, deep in my heart. I do. But nothing compares to the love that I have for Catherine. There's like no person on this earth that I love more than her. It's the weirdest thing. And it's just because she's my mom. Like, she didn't even do anything. I just love her for that reason. It's crazy. And like, I don't know. I'm in her house and I'm just sitting here and looking at her stuff, and I'm like, she's just so much like me. It's so weird. Like, I knew that my mom was a lot like me because when I first met her, my mom was extra. And, you know, nobody's ever described me as like a calm, easygoing person. And no one would ever describe Catherine as that. Like, she was just downright loud talking all the time. And it was so funny because whenever I talked to my mom, I felt like I knew what it was like to talk to me, because like, people really can't get a word in edgewise with me, especially if I'm close to you. I'm just like a talker. I have a Gemini moon, so like everything I think, I kind of have to verbalize if I feel comfortable around you. But when I would talk to my mom, like, she would, like, I feel like she would just take the place of me, and I would just sit back and be like, yeah, I just wouldn't say anything. Like, she would just talk, because she was just so intense. And I am so much like her. Like, my friend, it's also funny because all of my friends, my closest friends, are people who aren't very verbal. And I think that works because I am extremely verbal in my friendships. I'm extremely non-verbal outside of my friendships. But inside of them, I'm like basically Catherine, just loud talking, fake beefing all the time. My mom was like always, I would always have to say to her, be like, bruh, it's Monday. Like, you don't have to scream. Like, I'm just saying hello. She just would scream. She was just such a like loud, aggressive person. Like, she was just so intense. In like a way that I enjoyed. Because she wasn't really mad about anything. She just was like aggressive in the way that she communicated. And I am, you know, I definitely got that honest. And she also was extremely childlike. And I used to think my mom was immature. Like, I would describe her as immature when I talked about her, but I don't know if that's like a fair assessment. I think that I think she was 13 years old when she was addicted to drugs. And I think that like, obviously she grew up and got older. My mom was 62 when she died. And she went throughout this world. But like, I feel like the clarity of her brain and the things that she longed for were very childlike things. And like, I recently found out, the last time I talked, I was like, what are you doing? I always would try to do that because my mom would try to like veer off into some conversation about some weird guilt shit that I don't care about, but she did. And so I'd always try to intercept those conversations and just like talk to her about her day to day. And the last time I talked to her, she was watching cartoons, and I was like, really? She was like, I love cartoons. She was like, I like am able to escape with them. And I asked her what her favorite cartoon was, and she said Arthur. And I was like, Catherine, isn't that so precious? Like, Arthur is just like the most. I love Arthur too, honestly, but like, I just think she's so precious. She has all kinds of. I feel so weird because I can't ask her, but she has all kinds of like Frozen stuff in this house, like the animated film Frozen, like, and that is my favorite movie. I'm like literally obsessed with Frozen. I just wholeheartedly believe I'm Anna, and my friend Rachel is Elsa, and I just love Frozen. I have a lot of Frozen shit, and she does too. And I just wonder if she like. It would be so crazy if my mom liked that movie the same way I liked it. Like, I think she did because she has so much stuff in here that's Frozen. And she has so many, all of her pajamas are just like pink and free. I'm in her pajamas right now, one of them. But my mom is smaller than me. But some of her pajamas I can fit, so I've been sleeping in her pajamas. She like, I don't know, like all her pajamas are super frilly and pink or purple or some junior garment. And her socks, all of her socks, she does not have normal socks. Like, she has these house booties that are like glittery with like the rubber stuff on the bottom, but like her real socks are just like child socks. It's just so funny. Like, she's just precious. I like, you know, and I'm like extremely childlike that too. Like, I mean, the closer people get to me, I'm basically a gummy bear. But I'm a Cancer. Like, my son is a Cancer. I have a Gemini moon, but like, I'm a real Cancer. Like, hard on the outside, like gooey on the inside. And she just was just precious. She also was downright bougie. Like, I'm sitting in my mom's house and like, she just is bougie. Like, all of her clothes are just like her clothes that she like wore out. Were like first of all, she doesn't have a piece of garment that doesn't go with something else. Like, she lives for a set, apparently. And I don't know, all her furniture is just like, all right, Catherine. I'm so proud of her. Like, I'm so happy that I'm pissed that she died, but I'm happy that she was able to have something for herself before she died. She had a hard life. And like, I feel like so many people who were a part of her life, or I don't want to say a part of her life, but like saw my mom in this neighborhood, they saw a woman who was strung out, like super strung out, and for years. And I don't think that they could see like who she wanted to be and who she was outside of this drug. And I'm gonna like, my mom's funeral is on Thursday, and after the funeral, I'm just gonna make people come here. Like, I just want people to see what she did. She worked really hard to get here, and she did it in a fairly short amount of time. And she did it by herself. And I mean, she was prompted by us, her kids, but she did it. And she did it for herself, and she did it for us. And that's like, I just haven't experienced something like that, where someone wanted me to be a part of their life so much they would literally do the hardest shit ever. And she did that, and I love her, and I'm proud of her for that. And I'm just gonna make people come here and see what she did, because she really turned it around. And, you know, I just want people to see all of her bougie shit. I'm also downright bougie, straight up. Like, let's not even. I just am. It's weird. I'm just a lot like my mom. And I feel like people here look at me, especially people who have not been, I don't know anybody that's in my mom's life. And so I'm meeting all these people for the first time. And I feel like people think that I'm like well-spoken and have my shit together, which I do not. And like, I'm so different from her, but I just want them to know that that's not like, it's not random that I'm like this. Like, all of the best stuff Catherine had, she gave to me. And I'm sure it was hard to see that because she was on drugs for so long, but I'm definitely her daughter. And, you know, I've been nurtured in a different way, mainly by myself, but I just got it honest, and I'm just proud to be her daughter. And I just love that lady. And I wish I had more time. I wish I wasn't so standoffish. I wish, you know, I wish that she was just here though. Like, I don't really understand life. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, I don't. Like, I was moving to Philadelphia to be closer to her, and literally the week that I'm doing that, she gets sick and dies. I literally spent the whole week before, I'm transitioning from Huntington, West Virginia, and so I was spending time with my friends and saying goodbye. And I spent so much of that week talking about Catherine, and like, I literally said to my friend Dominique, because I'm a part of a friend group where like 2 people, there's like 5 people in this friend group, and 2 people have lost both of their parents in a matter of probably 8 years. We're 30. So I was saying to her, I was like, listen, dude, like, I just couldn't handle if my mom died. Like, excuse me. And I was like, I feel like I might be in the wrong friend group for that, because our parents be dying, and I just gotta get to the East Coast so I can be close to her and start to build something. And I talked so long about that with her, and then I was talking to literally the craziest shit. I was hanging out with my friend Shireen, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm definitely leaving. So we gotta cherish our time. I just gotta get to Catherine. And I don't know, I just spent like 20 minutes just screaming about how pissed I was at these doctors. Because my mom, she had knee issues or whatever. She was a very frail woman when she was on drugs. And she like gained, like she was a normal size, but compared to what she was, it was a lot, and it put a lot of pressure on her knees. And my mom, some doctor prescribed her Oxycontin, and I was like, or fucking nah, are you serious? Like, this is a woman who was on heroin for 45 years. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Heroin, I mean, Oxycontin might as well be heroin. And I know that because I'm from Huntington, West Virginia. 25 people died in one day over heroin overdoses. And it's all because they were prescribed Oxycontin, they got addicted, and then they couldn't afford the addiction anymore, and they went to heroin, and that shit will kill you. And so I was really concerned about, that's really what I was concerned about, because she was going through this pain management for her knee, and a doctor had prescribed her fucking Oxycontin, and I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. And so I was just trying to get to the East Coast so I just felt like I was probably gonna have to snatch her up out of East Orange and bring her to Philly, because I just kept saying not on my watch. She didn't die of that, but they definitely, I just want to fucking kill someone. Even though that's not the reason my mom died, I still am pissed that anyone would prescribe her a motherfucking opiate. Like, what? Anyway, so I spent a long time the day that I found out my mom was in the hospital. Like literally right before that, I was hanging out with Shireen. I was basically screaming, talking about how pissed I was that some doctor was giving her fucking Oxycontin. And then I leave Shireen, and 20 minutes later, my mom's sister calls me and is like, you need to get here. And I was like, yeah, what is happening? She was like, yeah, things are bad. Like she didn't tell me exactly what was happening, but she definitely expressed that it was serious and I needed to get there. So I flew here and I got to the hospital and my mom was like, I just can't even fucking. She was like, she had tubes in her throat. She was intubated. She also had a tube going to her intestines because she had some sort of gastrointestinal infection. I don't know. Her kidneys weren't functioning. Her blood pressure was extremely low. I don't know. She had like IVs and tubes in the side of her neck. She was sedated because she was trying to pull the tubes out of her throat. She was pissed. When I got to the hospital, and she had like compression boots and shit all over her body. Like my mom just couldn't, her body was swollen. She was just, everything was on her. And I walk in there and then I'm like crying immediately. And just cause I didn't know, like I knew things were bad, but I just felt like, she's gonna make it through this. Slay's a fighter, we're gonna get through this. Proves why I need to move anyway. But like she was sedated, so I couldn't talk to her. And like she opened her eyes and she was just pissed. Like my mom was also a person that like, she's like all about her freedom. She has a Sagittarius moon, and so she needs to travel. She always used to talk about my brother's dad and her were like got close like recently, and he was gonna buy her a car. And I was like, no, he's not though. Catherine, you have epilepsy. You literally, my mom like had a seizure, like a grand mal seizure at a bus stop and cracked her head open. And I was like, you definitely, first of all, you can't get a license because you have epilepsy. But in the rare case that you get one, you just not get in a car, bro. Like, you could die. But she just was so serious about her freedom. And so, like, when I got to the hospital, like, there was just so much intense anger in her eyes. Like, she was, I mean, my mom was always, like, fake mad all the time. She was really pissed when I got to the hospital. And I know that it's because she couldn't talk. And she was strapped up to these machines and everything. She's just like about her freedom, and she didn't have any in this position. And I don't know, I started talking to her and her eyes softened and she wasn't mad like that. She didn't want her sister to tell me or Nick, that's my brother, that she was sick. My mom ended up having stage 4 cancer. And she found out the day before I got there. And so this had just progressed in her body for so long. So she was like pissed at Marita because Marita had called me, and she thought that she was going to beat this. The thing that really makes me more mad than anything, I'm mad at myself, I'm mad at everyone. The only thing my mother wanted more than anything was for her, I, and my brother to be in the same room. And my brother's in a halfway house here in, he's in Newark, I'm in East Orange, but it's just like literally, they're basically the same city. And so, and we weren't able to make that happen because I wasn't coming here. That's my fault. And we called the halfway house and told them that Catherine was really sick and that they like you needed to see her before she died. But they then put him on restriction because she was sick. And so he couldn't leave because he has like a program or whatever he goes to every day, and they thought that he would deviate and go and see his mother. And so he's still on restriction. He won't be off of restriction until her funeral, which is Thursday. Which literally pisses me off. Like I know it's my bad that I didn't like make it a priority to come up here and like visit my brother with my mother. And I can't make that happen now. But I'm also just super pissed that like my brother was in jail when my mom died and he wasn't able to see her. And I don't know. I met him Saturday for the first time. And I think it's just weird the way that I love people. I'm like real intense about it. Like my brother was like, God, both him and my mom were like, and literally everyone in this like group of people and family are like, we just want to make up for this time and like we just want to be there for you. And it's just like, actually I'm super good. I'm just not like that, bro. But I'm serious about mine. And that's really all it is. Like I had to put real boundaries up with Catherine just because I just had to like always let her know. Like my mom would basically yell talk, but the only time I would ever talk, and most of the time I had to yell talk at her, it was like, listen, I'm not here to rehash the past with you, dude. I don't care about that. I'm very happy you didn't raise me. I love you, and we just need to focus on that. And so I basically had to do that with my brother on Saturday. He was like, I just want to be there for my sister, and like if she's crying, I want to like hold her and do all this gay ass like, excuse me, that's not what I mean. It's like extremely mushy. I'm just not into that. I was like, I'm focused on how can we get you out of jail? How can we get your life popping? What is it that you need? What is actually going on here? I don't really need you to do anything for me. Like, I need to get you out of this shit. And I need to get you moving on with your life. I feel like I wasn't able to successfully do it with Catherine. Like, she made it here and she did so much for herself, and I really like pressed and forced that issue, but I couldn't keep her alive. And that I'm pissed about that, but I'm also like, well, if I can't get it with Catherine, I gotta get it with you, nigga. So like, we gotta make it happen. So like, I don't know, I basically just was like, listen dude, that's not cool and fun and everything, and I feel you, I guess, but I am focused on getting this shit finished with Catherine, and focused on what is it we gotta do to get you out of here. Like, you can't like miss another parole. My brother he was up for parole recently. He has drug distribution crimes, or convictions or whatever. But he was like focused on like, and listen, I'm not the one to talk about doesn't care about this. I literally base my existence on this. But like, he was focusing on just like details of his conviction and arrest that were wrong, and the police brutality that he experienced during his arrest and while he was incarcerated. And I'm just like, listen dude, if you focus on that, you're not focused on getting out of here. I'm not saying that doesn't matter. It definitely matters. However, you need to get out of here to fight anything. You can't fight anything as an inmate. You literally have no rights as an inmate. And I don't know, I was talking to the people, I guess counselors and everything, and I was like, is there something I don't know? Like, why is he on restriction? And it's just because Catherine was sick and they said he was a model inmate. I was like, well then, why wasn't his parole granted? And I don't know why it wasn't granted, but I was just like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on getting you the fuck out of here. When your parole comes in 2017, we just aren't gonna focus on all the stuff that doesn't matter. You literally, you No one's been convicted for people who've been murdered on camera. So we're not going to give our energy to that. We're going to give our energy to getting you out of here and getting you in a program and getting you in school and getting you to where you want and need to be. That's what we're going to focus on. And that's how I love my family. Like, I'm not like a mushy whatever. But I'm serious about, like, I'm just not with the messy extra. My life is hard enough. My life is messy enough that I just, like, am not adding anything that is complicated. I'm not here for the complications. And so that's why I was like, Catherine, you got to figure this shit out, dude, if you want me in your life. And I had to do that with my brother. I was like, you can talk about this emotion and like family and hugs and, you know, the system and just all this. I don't care. What is it that you need to do to get out of here? That's what we need to focus on. And so, I don't know. That's it. But I feel like a real intense bond with him. Like, I feel like we her kids and we gotta honor her. Like, that's the only thing I can do is honor her with my life. And like, make sure people know that it's not random that I am like this. I am, you know, a sum of all my experiences, but I'm also like this because I'm Catherine Gay Mentor's daughter. That's it. So, I don't know. This is long. I'm a chatty Kathy. Chatty Kathy. What's up? Yeah. So, I mean, I guess in short, I'm here. I'm choosing to stay here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I do not know how I'm going to make that happen. But I'm going to get my brother into some programs and shit. I'm going to figure out what to do with all of Catherine's stuff. It's also super duper duper annoying that, like, on top of the fact that your mom dies, I wasn't able to, like, get her and give her a life that made some sense that she was deserving of. I have to, like, pick out her outfit to be buried in. I have to make her obituary and programs, pay for this funeral and plan it, and do all of this other shit. It's just annoying. I don't know, but I'm going to take y'all on this journey. Today I'm going to try to find the outfit that she's going to be buried in. And I'm going to work on her program. I got to Photoshop some pictures. Because my mom has good pictures, but there's some like stuff I need to Photoshop backgrounds out of and take these. My mom lived for a lanyard, but I'm not going to put some picture on her program with her rocking her lanyard with her keys and bus pass. I just can't. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I'll probably put, you know, I'm going to put this up today. Probably tomorrow I'm going to show y'all what I did with the rest of today. It's basically looking for outfits, finding pictures, writing her obituary, figuring her program out. If you haven't contributed to my mom's GoFundMe, I desperately need people to do that. Because I may not even have a funeral for my mom if I don't make these funds, and I don't know how else to do it. So if you feel inclined, contribute. Any small amount is helpful. $1, $5, literally a little goes a long way. I thank everyone who has contributed. I thank everyone for the well wishes and prayers, and pray for me during this time because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm telling you the truth. All I know is I'm going to be on the East Coast, either here or in Philadelphia. I'm definitely leaving Huntington. I don't know, pray for me, pray for my brother, pray for Catherine's kids. And that's it. I thank you so much. Have a good day.